All right, welcome back to the Pittsburgh Sports Savers. It's March 12th, Thursday night, 9:21 p.m. The first week of NFL free agency, NFL offseason is heating up. So are the Pittsburgh Steelers. They make several moves throughout the week. Lee, how you doing? How you been?
I've been all right. I'm doing all right. How about yourself, bud?
Pretty good, pretty good. So let's just get right into it.
Yeah, yeah.
Before any real free agent moves, the Steelers made their big move of the offseason so far in trading for Michael Pittman Jr.
Yeah.
It was a swap of late round picks, sixth rounder going to the Colts, seventh rounder coming back to the Steelers. Um, Expected to be number one on the team, or are you still going with DK Metcalf? What are your thoughts here?
I think it's still going to be DK.
Same.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is a good, acquisition pickup for them. They definitely needed another wide receiver because it was really only DK in the room, but I think DK will still be number one. But I think this is a great pickup for them. I was kind of shocked that they actually went out and got a trade for a wide receiver, in which I think the Steelers won this trade still. They still get a pick and they get a wide receiver. So it's not like they really even lost anything. They just gained more, to be honest. So
Yep.
they might have got a lower draft pick, but that doesn't mean that, I get that you're not always going to get a Tom Brady, but it doesn't mean that, you can't still get a decent player in the late round. So, I still think they got a good trade out of this, but I think this was great. Again, we had been talking about it for a while. The Steelers need a second wide receiver, and at least improve that wide receiver room. And for them to actually go out and get somebody, I think was just phenomenal for them to do this.
Yeah, he's a big physical guy. He'll be able to play over the middle some. They did also sign him to an extension, 3 years, 59 million. I think that makes him one of the top 25 highest paid receivers in the league. So you got two guys making a lot of money,
Hmm.
and hopefully they can make some moves
Yeah.
in the draft, get someone a little cheaper. Maybe there's another vet out there, but for now, this was a great start for the receiver room. I think we both agree they needed to make multiple signings
Hmm.
in the receiver room, and this is that first step that they needed to
Yeah.
make. Next up, let's talk cornerback. Let's talk Jamel Dean. He signed from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's projected probably to start on the opposite side of Joey Porter Jr. 3 years, 36.75 mil. The first real big move in the free agency for the Steelers. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I think this was another great pickup. I mean, the we had a lot of older guys that they were just paying money to on that secondary. I mean, of course, yeah, I think it was a pretty good trade with uh, getting Jalen Ramsey, and losing out on Minka Fitzpatrick. But I think that this was definitely a good pickup. We definitely needed something in the secondary. You have a again, when you have this highest paid defense, you're expected good results. And, we weren't getting the results we received in the past couple of years with the defense we had. And again, a lot of those guys are older. And for us to get another guy, like this to be able to sign, and, of course, they gave him some decent money for, good couple of years. Obviously, he's a good projected cornerback on the defense. So, I think this was another good pickup for them, for them to do, definitely in the secondary on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, so he's 29 years old. He had three interceptions, nine pass deflections last year. The Athletic had him projected for 3 years, 54 million. Obviously, they got him much lower at
Hmm.
36 million. That's a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
I do think he'll start opposite side of Porter. And that's not the only move they made in the secondary. Let's pull up this next slide and see the other moves that they're trying to rebuild this back. You mentioned Minka. He actually went to the Jets. He
Mm.
was a name that maybe we thought could be bouncing back to the Pittsburgh, but that didn't happen. But they did pick up Jaquan Brisker from the Bears on a 1 year, $5.5 million deal. They also picked up Darnell Savage, who's more like going to be a depth guy, I think, on a 1 year deal. Re-signed Asante Samuel Jr., 1 year, $4 million. Um, Overall, I think the secondaries stepping forward. I would like to see them grab someone in the draft, probably, especially Dean's 29, like I said, so he's getting a little older for a cornerback out there. But overall, they made a bunch of moves here that should shore up the backside, right?
Yeah. And again, maybe I don't know if we'll still have the highest paid defense at this point, but at least getting some guys. a little bit cheaper and maybe some guys that can make some plays, to be able to get out there and help us on the defensive side of the ball. I think this was great moves by the team to actually pick up some guys like this to be able to help out with the defense. So I think it definitely improves, like you have there, the pass defense, depth for sure because of injuries and things like that with other guys going down, and stuff. So hoping for a healthy season, upcoming season. I know we're still months away, but yeah, it'd be great for them to get somebody else in the draft as well. So, but I think these were some great moves to at least get some depth in there for that secondary for sure.
Yeah, Briscoe's the big name on this page. I think he was actually projected by the Athletic for 4 years, 42 million. But he
Wow.
wanted to come back to Pittsburgh. He's from the area, I think, is the main thing. So they got him pretty much on the cheap here.
Yeah.
But he's more of a. I think he's. Let's go with this. They say he's a solid blitzer and run defender from depth. He had 12 pressures, ranked seventh among safeties in 2025. He'll be attractive for defenses that major in too high pre-snap shells. He can play in the deep part of the field, and he has the burst to impact the run game from an out-of-the-box alignment.
Hmm.
Is the way they describe him there on the Athletic. But yeah, I think he's the big move there. Getting Asante Samuel back is nice too. He adds to that depth. I think they'll still get somebody at
Yeah.
corner, but if not, I think they have enough there that it'll be passable at least.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so finally, the last big signing so far, there's been a couple other ones, is Rico Dowdle over from Carolina, where he had 2,000-yard seasons in a row. He was also formerly with Dallas. He's We'll see if he's the expected lead runner in the Pittsburgh backfield. Jalen Warren, who knows there?
Yeah.
I think that Warren will still get a lot of touches. But what does this? What do you think of the signing first? 2 years, 12.25 million, and then what do you think this means for Caleb Johnson? A guy who we thought might have a role at some point, especially with Gainwell gone, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, but I think for Caleb Johnson, I think maybe this might sideline him a little bit more. I mean, again, they did draft him to probably be projected to be the guy moving forward, but with them going out and signing somebody, I don't really foresee, maybe seeing much of him, in this upcoming season. Just I guess it's going to depend on how he proves himself in practice and preseason, but I think this is a great pickup with losing Gainwell, like you had mentioned. I think that um, this was a good pickup. They're definitely going to need somebody. Again, is he going to be the lead runner? I'm with you. I think Jalen Warren still is going to get a lot of picks, or I'm sorry, not a pick, run, rushes and things like that. A lot of plays out there on the offensive side of the ball. But I do think with at least them signing him, I think maybe he'll get a good bit, if not equal amount to Jalen Warren, depending on just how, you know, with Mike McCarthy and his new offense and things like that, how things are kind of going. They're just kind of going to see how things are going to, move forward with this team. But I think this was a decent pickup, for sure on the running game. I mean, the running game really hasn't been where we want it to be. I mean, the past, I don't know, 5 years, I don't even know if we've had 1,000. I think we had Najee, he was 1,000 yards each year, but it really wasn't like the
Not that
big
big
running.
impact stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I
Mhm.
mean. So I think this will definitely help improve the running game for sure on the offense.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they will complement each other better too than maybe. Even though Gainwell played well,
Hmm.
there was a lot of overlap between him and Warren. I think that
Yeah.
there's more of a separation, more similar to what we had with Najee. I think
Hmm.
so that'll be a good balance back there. We did reference Kenneth Gainwell. There are a couple other losses. We could also add Connor Hayward, who is going away as well. But Isaac Seumalo is the big loss here. He ended up going to Arizona for 3 years,
Wow.
31.5 million. Kenneth Gainwell, as we mentioned, signed with the Buccaneers. Calvin Austin signs with the New York Giants. So that's one receiver gone. We're gonna have to replace there. And I know he's a guy you really liked. Uh, you had him a lot of time. Was he your MVP for last year? Or,
Yeah, he was going to
uh,
be my MVP. Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Speak on him a little bit. I know you've been a big fan.
Yeah, I mean, I was a fan because of the speed, and I thought that he could have, stepped up and been a number two guy. But he just didn't do anything this past season. Really didn't get much, going for him, and didn't get to see much. I kind of projected him to kind of step up, but again, nothing really happened. I mean, the offense was a little different, especially with Aaron Rodgers in there at quarterback. So things probably had to change a little bit and things like that. But never really had anybody get going, and as wide receiver. I mean, DK had the one game in Ireland, and I think that was it. And I think he had one in Baltimore, but really didn't see much with the wide receivers,
Yeah.
this season. And I was really hoping for him to step up, but maybe he'll be a better fit with the Giants. They just got a new coach with John Harbaugh, not Jim, John Harbaugh, and
Mhm.
they got a young quarterback and Dart, and maybe they're on a little bit of a rebuild themselves, so maybe he'll have a better offensive scheme there where he'll be able to get more touches and better play, so hoping for the best for him. Kenneth Gainwell, I think he did pretty well. I guess it just didn't work out with getting a decent signing with him this year. I mean, he had you know, I would say for his first year out there, kind of, I wouldn't say he was a starter, but being out there to play as much as he did, I think he had a phenomenal season just
I think
for
he
what
won
he did.
offensive MVP for them, right? Voted
I
on by
I
the
think
team.
so. Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so he had a phenomenal season. Just see him out there, and again, it sucks that I guess whatever deal never could get made with the Steelers, he got with the Buccaneers. So good on him. And yeah, losing Isaac as well, to the Cardinals. I mean, that's a big hit on that offense, of line right there, and so it's going to be tough to see. Hopefully, they can improve there because that's definitely one of the key positions they really need to improve with, because I mean, Aaron Rodgers was getting killed last year, and or any quarterback that's about back to the past few years, it's kind of been tough, So hopefully, those guys have better careers going on, but we're definitely going to need to improve with what we lost for sure.
Yeah. Um, Kenneth Gainwell, I think, ended up signing a 2-year, 14 mil, so a little more than what they're going to be paying Dowdle. I think they're
Hmm.
comparable talents, but different
Yeah,
styles, like I said
yeah,
before. And I do think Dowdle will fit better with Warren. I
yeah,
know
yeah,
there were times where like Warren just didn't seem to get on the field because they were using Gainwell. Um, yeah, Sam All is the big one. That's the next spot they really have to fill. I think is someone at guard or center.
hmm,
They've been making some depth moves there, but nothing high high level there. That no starter's been really brought in to replace him yet.
yeah,
But another spot that's still up in the air, I'd say, is this quarterback situation.
yeah,
Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is still a free agent. There's a few quarterbacks still out there, veteran wise. But the big name, Kyler Murray, he's gone off the board. He went to Minnesota today. But where are you at? We've talked about it a bunch. Aaron Rodgers, Will Howard, draft a guy. Where are you at?
I mean, I think at this point, you drafted a guy, maybe give him a shot, give him a year, see how things work out. I think you still draft a quarterback, but at this point, if Aaron Rodgers is going to keep playing and he's going to wait and wait and wait, I don't know if I want to bring him back. I mean, he's getting older. I think he's talented. He'd be the better option to have as a starting quarterback, but I'm kind of just a little tired of waiting, seeing what he wants to do. I know that probably Mike McCarthy would love to have him, but again, Mike McCarthy's been talking about how he's a Will Howard guy, so who knows what's going to happen with that, and so
Mhm.
I think you drafted Will Howard, of course he was injured, so you didn't really get a chance to see. I think you give him a chance, but I do also think you draft a quarterback just to be safe. I think that's should be the options that that the Steelers do for the quarterback position.
I got three more names for you, four more names, I guess.
All
I think
right.
I know the answer, but do any of these names intrigue you coming in? Kirk Cousins, Joe Flacco, reunited with Russell Wilson or Tyrod Taylor?
Yikes.
Those are the four
Ugh.
names of veterans that are available right now.
Out of any of those, maybe Kirk Cousins, but I wouldn't even go that way. I mean, I think he might be the better quarterback out of those veteran options, I mean, yeah, he had a decent couple seasons with Minnesota, and then was supposed to. He had a big signing with the Falcons, and then lost his job to a rookie. So obviously, he wasn't that talented to be able to keep his starting position. So, I mean, I wouldn't go those routes. I mean, I would. I think you take the younger guy you got, you develop him a little bit. give him a chance to kind of see what he can do out there, and and then just draft the guy as well, just to give him that that competitive edge to be able to, okay, I'm going to go out there and compete, but have somebody just in case Will Howard doesn't work out, because I just don't think I think Aaron Rodgers is going to just prolong this so long that it's just gonna it's gonna defeat the purpose of having anybody. So I think you just stick with Will Howard, you draft a guy, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, if you can get something from Rodgers by draft day, I think you're good. Last year it
Mm-hmm.
was June, which kind of
Mm-hmm.
sucked.
Yeah.
I got a from the text line. Michael Titus reaches out. He says, rock out this year and go after someone next year. QB class is a lot better next year. Mendoza is the only for sure thing this year. Um, I just blew his cover. He asked me to keep himself anonymous. The first thing I did was say his name. Mike, say everything in the same message next time. That way, no one will know who's talking. Uh, so apologies there, but yeah, I mean that's a possibility here. Maybe you do go Howard and just hope that they lose.
Yeah, yeah,
And you
yeah,
get someone next year,
yeah,
and which is
yeah,
supposed to be a better QB class. But you hear that every year. Every year the next class is gonna be that good class, and then the season
yeah,
happens, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it's an Andrew Luck, and sometimes
yeah,
it's what happened with Arch Manning this year. Arch Manning was like supposed to be the guy this year.
yeah,
Other guy,
yeah,
Nussmeier. There's a lot of names that they said were going to be good. Drew Aller was supposed to
mm-hmm.
be a top guy this year, and all of them kind of just flopped. So
Yeah.
I I'm interested. Another name you threw out there was Jameis from the Giants. Um, I mean, it's fun. If
Yeah.
you're gonna lose, maybe losing with Jameis will be fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What? So we're
Get
talking
another
about what
30
we
for
would do.
30.
What do you think they're gonna do? Are they gonna wait on Rodgers in your eyes?
I think they're going to. That's just what the Steelers are. I think they're going to. I don't think they should, but I think they're going to. Even though
Uh huh.
Mike McCarthy, talked about in his conference that he liked Will Howard, I think they're going to sit there and wait because they're just suckers like that. That's just what this organization is. And what's silly is I agree with our anonymous guest that sent the
Uh
text
huh.
message. I agree with them. The thing is, this defense is too decent of a defense that we're still going to end up in the middle of the pack somewhere in the draft, that we're not going to be able to get low enough to get somebody. So, the defense is still going to end up keeping us in games. They'd have to shit the bed on defense too. But again, yeah, they aren't that good, but they still kind of keep us in games. So it's going to be tough, even if they go with Will Howard. He stinks. The offense stinks. The defense is still going to keep us in the game every game.
And Rudolph. Anything there?
Oh
Mason
God.
Rudolph. What are you feeling
Oh,
on Rudolph?
I liked him here, and then I didn't like him, and I liked him here, and I didn't. He's just a glorified backup. That's just what it
And
is. I
that's no
mean,
problem. There's no problem with that.
no, not at all, not at all.
Kenny Pickett's on his fifth team, I think, right? And
Poor,
he's got a $4 million contract there.
poor,
So
poor guy is getting used and abused by the NFL right
oh,
now.
he's getting paid too. He's
Mm,
taking
hmm
first round money. Then I can't think he's
Super
complaining too
Bowl
much.
win. He's a Super Bowl champion
Super
too.
Bowl champion too.
Yeah, he's on his way.
Uh, so that's where we are so far. Overall, what are your thoughts on this start to the off season?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, it's just kind of like how we saw last season. I think it's going pretty well. I think they're making some good moves. The fans have made their voices heard to this team and to the ownership and the coaching and the GM and things like that. And I think that they're making the moves they need to make, and they're helping improve the team. We do need a quarterback. That is something. We need offensive line. We need to figure something out. And we did get a coach. It's not going to last long, but we got a new coach. I was hoping they'd go younger, but they went the direction they went, and that's fine. I think Mike McCarthy is a good coach, just like how Mike Tomlin was. And I just hope that he can bring some type of fire to this team and help improve this team, because what we've seen the past couple of years ain't been good. So it's just what it is.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a good start. It's still crazy to see how active the Steelers are.
Yeah.
It was never the way they were built. And I think it does say something with the 12 picks they have this year. They got to hit on some guys here and
Yeah, yeah,
make sure
yeah.
things go the right way in that direction. They did have some good picks the last couple seasons, but like then there's been
Hmm.
misses. Like Caleb Johnson's a big miss. It seems like you don't want to write him off already, but
Yeah. No, I
what
hear
can
you.
you do?
But
Uh,
again, the Steelers draft well with linebacker and wide receiver. They do that all the time. It may not be the great starters are always divas on the wide receiver side, but they draft great wide receivers. They draft good linebackers. So hopefully, they can do some better with the other positions as
yeah.
well this season or this draft coming up.
If that is the case, though, don't you have an issue with the idea of trading for Metcalf, paying him all that money instead of going through the draft, or linebacker wise, you get Queen. He really hasn't seemed to gel right. Last season seemed to be a little bit of down here. There's rumors of him being talked in trade talks. So I don't know. I think you're right on them being able to draft historically those two positions, but
Hmm.
maybe they're afraid to make
Yeah,
mistakes now.
that's a
Um,
possibility.
I do want to segue away, but just ending it. We got another comment in the text. Kenny being a Super Bowl champion is equivalent to one of us being champions because we were born here in Pittsburgh when they won.
Well,
But um, that is the end of this Steelers offseason talk. I want to talk a couple more topics today.
yeah,
The
yeah.
first one being Bam Adebayo, 83 points. Thoughts on how he did it? The controversy surrounding it, the talk of how it's stain on Kobe that he's able to pass him up. What do you can go any way you want to go with it.
I think it was a great performance. You don't get this, you don't see stuff like that. Sure, he
Yeah,
shot a lot he shot a lot, and especially got a lot from the free throw line.
yeah,
He was at the
over
line a lot.
40 attempts.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. They got fouled that much.
Uh-huh.
Because that's something you don't really see that someone's getting fouled like every play. But I think it was a phenomenal performance. It's something you don't see a lot. When a guy scores a lot, it's amazing. For the people to be like, oh, it's a stain on Kobe. Come on. I mean, fucking Kobe. Kobe is a great player, but a lot of people will tell you back in Kobe before, right after Shaq, a little bit before after Shaq, he was a ball hog. People will tell you that he was nothing against the guy. He's one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He had a great performance scoring 81. I don't see why people can't give Bam his flowers himself. I mean, sure, maybe it was 2 more points, but what the hell's the problem? He had a great performance, a great night. Sometimes when you're on, you're on. It is what it is. Yeah, you shoot a lot, but what can you do? It happens. It's just one of those nights.
More messages. The man had 31 in the first quarter. 83 points is 83 points. Yeah, I'm there with you. You got to praise it.
Yeah.
It's cool seeing it from a guy who was only averaging like 18 a game going into the game, which is impressive in itself.
Yeah.
He gained a whole point on his points per game in one game. But no, the only thing, the last part would be, what are your thoughts on what the Heat did down the stretch to get him a couple more touches there towards the end?
Yeah. Again, it's the same shit they did with when Russell
Westbrook.
Westbrook was
Uh,
going for his triple double of the season. They
yeah,
were making sure he was getting the rebounds and shit like that. It's like, okay, come on. Like, I get it. Yeah, he had a great, but I don't think you need to do all of that.
and
Let
on
the
the other end,
guy.
though, what do you think of like the way he was being doubled and triple teamed at points on the other side? I think that is kind of cheap too.
Yeah.
So it kind of
Yeah.
balances it out, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it does, but it's great to see. Like, he's not a big name guy like
yeah,
Luca
it's
or
nothing against him at
Jokic.
all.
No, nothing
All
against him at
he
all.
was just trying to play a game, and
Yeah, that's it. You know
and
what
they
I
fouled
mean?
him. I mean, he was fouled. It wasn't like he was like getting calls or anything. Like
Yeah, yeah,
legit
yeah,
calls were happening. It's just the way the
yeah.
game flow went.
Just yeah.
Um, and that, yeah, you're right. I mean,
Got to give him his flowers. Great performance. You know what I mean? He played his heart out. He did well. It was
uh,
a good performance for him. He's up there in history now in the books.
yep. And
Everybody want to hate, whatever.
I was surprised to see Wilt not having a game closer to his 100. Than when they like showed the scores and records of the
Yeah,
highest scoring games.
yeah.
I just never thought about it, but yeah, it's his 100-point game is really the biggest outlier of anything that
Oh yeah. Oh
happened.
yeah.
We have video of everything but that game, apparently.
The NBA burned those tapes. You got to
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
So one
Yeah.
final topic for the day, I guess we can talk real quick, is the World Baseball Classic. The tournament round, the brackets are coming out. We got Korea versus the Dominican Republic, USA versus Canada, um, Italy against Puerto Rico, and Venezuela against Japan. Those games are set for tomorrow and Saturday. And then obviously the semis will be the 16th or the 15th and the 16th. The final will be St. Patrick's Day Tuesday night. Who you got out of those teams? What's your final, and who you got winning it?
Um, I I think the final is going to come down to USA and Japan. I do,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and it's going to be a tough game. But I think the USA can pull it off. I mean, I don't think some of these players have faced Paul Skeens. Did you see him in that game? I think he
Yeah,
had
it was
like
nice.
seven strikes or seven strikeouts, and he
He's
played phenomenal.
he's scheduled to pitch in the semifinal, which would likely be against the Dominican Republic.
Yeah,
No, not to shit on Korea at all.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
do expect Dominican Republic to win that game.
yeah.
USA, Dominican Republic. That's probably the best offense.
Oh yeah,
Is the Dominican Republic, and we'll get to see Paul Skeens go up against them.
hmm
That'll be very exciting.
yeah,
Um, Maybe to see him go against O'Neal Cruz, who's been playing bench role, but has been playing well. He's 3 for 3 with 2 home runs and a double. So he's been good in his little stretch. But
yeah.
yeah, I'll go USA, and I'm gonna go with an upset on the other side. I'm gonna give Puerto Rico
Ooh,
the win
okay.
over both Italy and Japan.
In
Get
Japan,
them into the
wow.
final,
Okay.
and I'll have the U.S. actually winning it this time around, getting
Nice.
the
Nice.
victory,
Nice.
I guess.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but that's all I got for this week. You got anything new? You want anything to talk about?
Just want to say March Madness on its way. So
Yeah.
we got a little bit to talk about there coming up. Um I saw, and I know I bring this guy up all the time, but apparently LeBron James has another record he's about to break,
What's he
and
got
it's the
coming up?
most games played ever all time. And I think
He's
he's
still
like
hurt, or did he come back?
he's I think he's still hurt, but
Okay.
he's like I think
3 games or
he's
something.
something like that. I think he's like
Yeah, I
three
think
games
3.
away from Robert Parrish's record of like 1,611 games. So
Compiler.
yeah,
Compiler.
compiler, he's on his way. He's on his way. Uh, but I guess that he's got that coming up. So yeah, we got March Madness, and I mean soon we'll be talking about the playoffs for baseball will be starting up pretty soon. We
March
got that getting
25th.
ready. It's on its way, a couple weeks away. So we got that coming up, and we got the playoffs for hockey and basketball in the summertime, and it'll be all baseball. And the draft's coming up about a month
Yep.
away.
We'll get some draft coverage
We'll
going.
get that going.
Um,
So we got
but
some stuff
overall,
coming up.
yeah, it's a slow part, I guess, for Pittsburgh sports, but this free agency really ramped it up a little bit for us, and then
Yeah, yeah,
maybe we'll get news on Jeff Capel being fired. Um,
yeah.
Shout out to Panthers.
Shout out Pitt
They
Panthers.
were able to win one game in the tournament, but they then lost last night to NC
Oh,
State. Was that
oh,
2 nights ago? I think it was last night. It might have been 2 nights ago.
yeah,
That was last night.
yeah.
98-88 was the final score. Apparently, there's going to be a meeting with Capel on Friday. So good
Yeah,
luck, Capel.
he might be getting the boot. He's on his way out the door. Where's our boy from who was the coach? Is he go to TCU? What's his name?
Jamie Dixon.
Yeah, where's he at? Get him back.
TCU.
Get him back.
All right, John Calipari is going to leave Arkansas to come in. We'll see.
Oh shit.
Nah, in all honesty, I've heard they're probably going to get somebody from like a mid-major
Yeah.
to come in that's been having some success. Um, we'll find out.
We'll find out. We'll
Soon enough.
see. And I'll be excited to see any other moves the Steelers might make, during this time right now in the free agency. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it was a hot start for them, but
Yeah, yeah.
it
Let
might
me
be
ask you
long.
real quick. Let me ask you real quick before we end it. I know we talked about it a bit more, but what are your key positions you think we need like right now? Like what else they need to go get?
Another receiver, probably interior line.
Hmm.
Even with some guys in Hayward coming back and everything, I still think that you can't go wrong there. And then obviously on the offensive side too, interior, they got to replace Sam Oller.
Do you think they need another tight end with losing Connor Hayward? Or are they good?
I mean, they got two. They got Washington and Fryermuth.
Right
I think
move,
those
yeah.
two will be fine as your like big players, but obviously you got to get a
Yeah.
more depth there. But I'm cool with lot more, lot fewer three tight end sets, things
Hmm.
like that, and instead seeing maybe those two guys out there. But you got to get receivers for that to work.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Uh,
We'll see what happens. Hopefully they can get something going.
yep. But that's it for tonight, Lee.
That's it.
Enjoy yourself. I'll see you.
I'll see you.